Okay. Right, so let us start the session in the usual manner by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times to pay homage to the Buddha. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so today we read through 2 suttas. The first is called Cunda Sutta, and the second one is Ukkacela Sutta. So those of you who heard the last session when we did the reading from the book The Great Disciples. The previous session we were reading the chapter on called The Further Shore, which talked about the final days of Venerable Sariputta as he neared his final days and where he decided to pass away, which was back in his home village where he was born, and how he managed to, in the end, bring his mother to take refuge in Triple Gem. So it was a very nice story there. At the end of this particular reading, we'll see 2 suttas, and agree that we will read these 2 sections. So the first one is the Cunda Sutta. So let's read together. So once the Blessed One, the Buddha, was dwelling at Savatthi in Jetavana, the monastery of Anathapindika. So sometimes, as commonly we see the translation in a lot of suttas, they say at Savatthi, in Jetavana monastery, at Anathapindika's path. It's the same. And at the time, the Venerable Sariputta was at Magadha village in the Magadha country. And I think really, so we also read about this in the narrative form in the previous section. So the novice Cunda was his attendant. And the Venerable Sariputta passed away through that very illness. Then the novice Cunda took the alms bowl and robes of the Venerable Sariputta and went to Savatthi to take a way to send the message back to the Buddha that the Sariputta had passed away is personally travel there. So from Magadha to Savatthi is quite a travel. So Magadha country, you have where, if I'm not mistaken, I hope somebody will correct me. That is where we have the Varanasi and all that. Oh, no, sorry, Rajgir. Rajgir, or those days called Rajagaha. Rajagaha is the capital of Magadha. So Venerable Sariputta was born in a village in Magadha. So the modern day Rajgir or Rajagaha is about, well, actually I don't know today because it's been many years since I was there last time. I think the roads may have been improved, but back then it takes about, I'd say, half a day travel from Bodh Gaya. I assume that it's better now. So it's more towards the Bodh Gaya side, which is, yeah. But Savatthi is, you have to travel to the west. Yeah, so to travel, and if you go by foot, it will take quite a few days. So Cunda had to as custom, we went out before, walk, maybe the next town, the next village, spend the night there, wake up the next morning, go for after, walk again, things like that. Repeat until eventually he will reach Jetavana Monastery. So there he approached the Venerable Ananda and having saluted him, sat down one side and said, Venerable Sir, the Venerable Sariputta has passed away. These are his bowl and robes. On this matter, friend Cunda, we ought to see the Blessed One. Let us go, friend Cunda, and meet the Master. Having met him, we shall report this to the Blessed One. Yes, Venerable Sir, said the novice Cunda. They went to see the Blessed One, and having arrived there and saluted the Master, they sat down at one side. Then the Venerable Ananda addressed the Blessed One. Lord, the novice Cunda has told me this. The Venerable Sariputta has passed away. These are his bowl and robes. Then, Lord, my own body became weak as a creeper. Everything around became dim. And things were no longer clear to me when I heard about the final passing of Venerable Sariputta. So we read before previous sessions that the relationship between Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Ananda, they were very close. So it's not just like out of respect that Venerable Ananda had, out of respect that because Venerable Sariputta was one of the chief disciples, it really was more than that. For Venerable Ananda, Venerable Sariputta also gave him a lot of teaching, so it's kind of like also a teacher. The other thing also we need to know that Venerable Ananda hadn't achieved the final stage of Nibbana yet at this point. And so obviously having someone so close as a teacher, as a mentor, as a guide, as a senior, and probably, we don't know, at some point maybe a confidant, we don't know, for someone to like that to him who had passed away, obviously he would be like quite affected. So how is this, Ananda? When Sariputta passed away, did he take from you your portion of virtue, the sila, or your portion of concentration or collectedness, that's the samadhi, or your portion of wisdom, the panya, or your portion of deliverance, or your portion of the knowledge and vision of deliverance? Not so, Lord. When the Venerable Sariputta passed away, he did not take my portion of virtue or my portion of concentration or collectedness, or my portion of wisdom, or of deliverance, or of the knowledge and vision of deliverance. But, Lord, the Venerable Sariputta has been to me a mentor, a teacher, an instructor, one who rouses, inspires, and gladdens, untiring in preaching the Dhamma, a helper of his fellow monks. And we remember how vitalizing, enjoyable, and helpful his Dhamma instructions were. Have I not taught you already, Ananda, that it is the nature of all things near and dear to us that we must suffer separation from them and be severed from them, of that which is born, come into being, put together, and so is subject to dissolution? How should it be said that it should not depart? That indeed is not possible. It is, Ananda, as though from a mighty hardwood tree, a large branch should break off. So has Sariputta now passed away from this great and sound community of bhikkhus. Indeed, Ananda, of that which is born, come into being, put together, and so is subject to dissolution. How should it be said that it should not depart? That indeed is not possible. Therefore, Ananda, be an island unto yourself, a refuge unto yourself, seeking no external refuge. With the Dhamma as your island, the Dhamma as your refuge, seeking no other refuge. So this is actually the sutta, and then the commentary takes up the narrative thus. So it seems that this from here on is the commentary. The master stretched forth his hand and taking the philter with the relics, placed it on his palm and said to the monks, "These, O monks, are the shell-colored relics of the bhikkhu who not long ago asked for permission to attain final nirvana. He who fulfilled the 10 perfections for an incalculable period and 100,000 aeons. This was that bhikkhu. He who helped me in turning the wheel of the Dhamma that was first turned by me. This was that bhikkhu. He who obtained the seat next to me. This was that bhikkhu. He who, apart from me, had none to equal him in wisdom throughout the whole 10,000-fold universe. This was that bhikkhu. Of great wisdom was this bhikkhu, of broad wisdom, of bright wisdom, of quick wisdom, of penetrative wisdom was this bhikkhu. Few once had this bhikkhu. He was contented, bent on seclusion, not fond of company, full of energy, an exhorter of his fellow monks, censuring what is evil. He who went forth into homelessness, abandoning the great fortune obtained through his merits in 100 existences. This was that bhikkhu. He who in my dispensation was patient like the earth. This was that bhikkhu. Harmless like a bull whose horns have been cut. This was that bhikkhu. Of humble mind like an outcast boy. This was that bhikkhu. See here, O monks, the relics of him who was of great wisdom, of broad, bright, quick, keen, and penetrative wisdom, who had few wants and was contented, bent on seclusion, not fond of company, energetic. See here the relics of him who was an exhorter of his fellow monks, who censured evil. Then the Buddha spoke the following verses in praise of his great disciple. To him who in five times 100 lives, that means 500 lives, went forth to homelessness, casting away pleasures the heart holds dear, from passion free, with faculties controlled, now homage pay to Sariputta who has passed away. To him who, strong in patience like the earth, over his own mind had absolute sway, who was compassionate, kind, serenely cool, and firm as the great earth, now homage pay to Sariputta who has passed away. Who, like an outcast boy of humble mind, enters the town and slowly wends his way, from door to door with begging bowl in hand. Such was this Sariputta. Now homage pay to Sariputta who has passed away. One who in town or jungle, hurting none, lived like a bull whose horns are cut away. Such was this Sariputta, who had won mastery of himself. Now homage pay to Sariputta, who has passed away. When the Blessed One had thus lauded the virtues of the Venerable Sariputta, he asked for a stupa to be built for the relic. So a stupa is like a monument, mini monument. It has 3 sections usually, a spike and then a middle body and then a foundation. Each of the 3 sections represents some think, but I could be wrong. I think it represents Sila Samadhipanya, but I could be wrong there. So if anyone can correct me there, that'd be great. But yeah, it is still today common practice to build a stupa to commemorate a teacher or a monk and put their relics in there. So like, for example, Venerable Bante Vimala Ramsi, Venerable Sister Kema, so their relics are stored in the stupas, especially built at DHAMMA Sutta Meditation Center in Missouri. After that, he indicated to the elder Ananda his wish to go to Rajagaha. So the Buddha then said he wanted to go to Rajagaha. Ananda informed the monks and the Blessed One, together with a large body of bhikkhus, journeyed to Rajagaha. At the time he arrived there, the Venerable Mahamoggallana had also passed away. And the Blessed One took his relics likewise and had a stupa raised for them. Then he departed from Rajagaha and going by stages towards the Ganges, he reached Ukkacela. And there he went to the bank of the Ganges and seated with his following of monks, he preached the Ukkacela Sutta on the Parinibbana of Sariputta and Mahamoggallana. So if we remembered from previous readings, Sariputta and Mahamoggallana were friends, or not just the last lifetime, but many lifetimes. And so from their youth in this final lifetime, and one can imagine that their age were close, similar as well. And yes, both of them passed away very close indeed to each other. So Ukkacela Sutta. Once the Blessed One was dwelling in the Bhaji country at Ukkacela on the bank of the river Ganges, not long after Sariputta and Moggallana had passed away. And at that time, the Blessed One was seated in the open, surrounded by the company of bhikkhus. And the Blessed One surveyed the silent gathering of bhikkhus and then spoke to them, saying, "O bhikkhus, appears indeed empty to me, now that Sariputta and Moggallana have passed away. Not empty for me is an assembly, nor need I have concern for a place where Sariputta and Moggallana dwell." So what he's trying to say is, yes, it feels empty in the sense that because previously, Sariputta and Moggallana played prominent, we'll read about Mahamoggallana's story later, that because they played roles each in the background, they feel of the others. But at the same time, what he's saying is, to me, I don't feel I need to replace their position. Those have been holy ones, those blessed ones, so previous Buddhas, too had such excellent pairs of disciples as I have in Sariputta and Moggallana. Those who in the future will be holy ones, fully enlightened ones, those blessed ones, those Buddhas, future Buddhas too, will have such excellent pairs of disciples as I have in Sariputta and Moggallana. Marvelous it is, most wonderful it is, bhikkhus, concerning those disciples, that they will act in accordance with the Master's teaching, will act in accordance with his advice, that they will be dear to the four assemblies, will be loved, respected, and honored by them. Marvelous it is, most wonderful it is, bhikkhus, concerning perfect one, the Buddha, that when such a pair of disciples has passed away, there is no grief, no lamentation on the part of the perfect one. For of that which is born, come into being, put together, and so is subject to dissolution, how should it be said that it should not depart? That indeed is not possible. Therefore, bhikkhus, be an island unto yourselves, a refuge unto yourselves, seeking no external refuge, with the Dhamma as your island, the Dhamma as your refuge, seeking the refuge. And with that profound and deeply moving exhortation, which echoes again and again throughout the Buddha's teachings up to the time of his own final passing away, ends the story of the youth Ukkacela, who became the master's chief disciple, the beloved marshal of the Dhamma. The Venerable Sariputta died on the full moon day of the month Kartika, which begins in October and ends in November of the solar or lunar. Oh, sorry, this is solar calendar. The death of Mahamoggallana followed a half month later on the day of the new moon. Half a year later, according to tradition, came the Parinibbana of the Buddha himself. So this part is the commentary, not part of the which such an auspicious combination of these three great personages. So to God and humans have been brought by us. We find the answer to the question in the Milinda Panha. Milinda Panha is the dreams of King Milinda. There's a section in the Sutta Pitaka where in the three baskets, we have the Sutta Pitaka, which has like the Digha Nikaya, Madhyama Nikaya, blah, blah, blah. Kudaka Nikaya, which is a combination of all the others that don't fall into the main ones, where, you know, that we read before, the Thera, these fall under this. Itivuttaka, Bhante Dhammagavesi read a couple of times some suttas from the Itivuttaka. The Jataka stories, all these fall under this category. And the 16 dreams of King Milinda also fall under this story, this section in the Sutta Pitaka. So we find that answer where the elder Naga saint says, in many 100,000 of births to son, the elder Sariputta was the Bodhisattva's father, grandfather, uncle, brother, son, nephew, or friend, whether in human form or in animal kingdom. So the weary round of becoming, which linked them together in time, came at last to its end. Time, which is but the succession of fleeting events, became for them the timeless. And the round of birth and death gave place to the death. And in their final lives, they kindled the glory that has illumined the world. Long may it continue. Okay. So this last sentence, long may it continue to do so, is very similar to when we share merits, where we share merits with the devas and nagas and ask that they long protect Buddha's dispensation. Similar thing. Okay, so the rest of this chapter is a nice listing of discourses. So Sariputta gave quite a number of discourses. And here is a very nice list of the teachings that Sariputta gave. One famous one is Anathapindika Sutta. When Anathapindika was about to pass away, and Anathapindika requested Venerable Sariputta to come to his deathbed to give him a teaching. So from the Majjhima Nikaya, there are a couple, number 3, number 5, number 9. Yes, this one read quite a few times. You can search for it, either Dhamma Sukha YouTube or Samatha Vipassana YouTube, quite a few times. This one, a great discussion of the Bhante Viparamsi, has read about a number of times. This one, very popular as well, 43 and 44, very similar. 69, 97, 114, 143. This goes to Nyanaponika. Yeah. And of course, we know 111, the map. Different stages of the jhanas that are as well. Yeah. Bigger Nikaya, Tiltam, Anguttara Nikaya, quite a number. You can go through it yourself with the time. A few from Samyutta as well. There are different chapters on the Samyutta. Okay, that's about it. So it's a good reference. Probably not the whole list, but it's a good guide, I would say, for those interested. Okay, so we shall pause here, and the next time we do a book reading, we will continue with the 2, which is the story of Moggallana, the other chief disciple of the. So we know now that Sariputta was foremost in wisdom. So his wisdom was second only to the Buddha. And similarly, Moggallana was foremost in psychic ability. Okay, second only to the Buddha. So we'll do that next time. Right. So let's pause here and anyone has any questions? Those who have dialed in.
May
Yes. Madam Nanda, you're muted.
Right. Do you have the sutta reference where Venerable Sariputta preached to Nyanaponika?
It is in the Majjhima Nikaya. Do you have a copy of the Majjhima Nikaya?
Yeah, okay, I'll check that out. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. It is Sutta 140. Oh, hang on, let's just go back there again. Yes, 143.
Thank you very much.
It's called the Nyanaponika Sutta. So just to a very short summary here. This is not the full sutta, but we can read. Give me one sec. Yeah, where is my Zoom go? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So it's a very good sutta, and in fact, at one time, now I sound like a sutta. Didn't mean for it that way. At one time, when one of the sutta sessions we had with Venerable Sister Kema, one of the devotees requested Sister Kema to read the Nyanaponika Sutta to her and record the sutta for her at her deathbed. So this is a common sutta. I mean, of course, the listener would probably have some faith in the Dharma teachings, otherwise it would make no sense, right? But for those who have faith, this is commonly used as a reading to the person when they are, at the final stages of their life. Right? So here in the book, we see a summary to that particular sutta. So Venerable Sariputta was called to Nyanaponika deathbed and admonishes him to free his mind from any attachment whatsoever, beginning with the sixth sense faculty. So he gave this instruction to Nyanaponika. Thus you should train yourself, householder. I shall not cling to the eye, and my consciousness will not However, you should train yourself. And this is repeated in full for each of the other 5 sense faculties. So I shall listen to the ear, and my ear consciousness will attach itself to the ear. I shall not cling to the nose, and my nose consciousness will not attach itself to the nose. I shall not cling to the tongue, and my tongue consciousness will not attach itself to the tongue. I shall not cling to the ear, nose, tongue, body, and body consciousness will not attach itself to the body. I shall not cling to the mind, and my mind consciousness will not attach itself to the mind. Yeah, so, and then it repeats with the 6 sense objects, the 6-fold consciousness, 6-fold contact, 6 feeling born of contact, 6 elements, 5 aggregates, 4 formless spheres, and concludes with detachment from this world and all other worlds, detachment from all things seen and thought, from all that is encountered, sought, and pursued in mind. In short, detachment should be practiced as to the entire range of experience, beginning with what for a dying person will be his immediate concern, his sense faculties and their functions. Makes sense. For a dying person, there really is nothing much to think about or be concerned with other than what they see, hear, smell, things. Sorry, see, hear, smell, taste, think. Okay. In the final moments, yeah. And this call for detachment, drawing ever wider circles and repeating the same core of thought must have had a deeply penetrating impact and a calming, liberating, even cheering influence on the dying devotee's mind. This was what Venerable Sariputta, the skilled teacher, obviously intended. And in fact, his words had that impact because our text says that Nyanaponika was moved to tears by the loftiness of the discourse, one in profundity unlike any he had ever heard before. Nyanaponika passed away soon after and was reborn as a deity in Tusita, heaven. The story goes in the sutta that soon after he was reborn in Tusita, he came back, visited the Buddha as a very young deva of Tusita realm. And then somebody asked the Buddha, who's that? Could it be Nyanaponika who had just passed away? And then the Buddha verified, yes, it is him, this young, very beautiful, handsome looking deva is indeed Nyanaponika who had just recently passed away. So that's how the story goes. Okay. Oh, so the full sutta is actually quite nice to read if you like. And also, I think it has been read before. I'm pretty sure there is a recording of that reading, either DHAMMA Sutta website or YouTube channel or Samatha Vipassana YouTube channel. But if you can't find it, let me know. And we can pass around.
Thank you very much.
No
Thanks a
problem.
lot.
Are there any other questions? So I hope it's been useful, enjoyable, and fun so far. These book readings. Bhante Dharmagavesi did mention a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago now, that there was always a side intention to read about the great disciples, either from Therigatha or Theragatha, and luckily we have this book as well. It's what should I say? It's a different way of building faith. Let's put it that way. It's a different way of gaining inspiration and also becoming closer with the Dhamma through studying and reading about their lives these great disciples, so that we can relate about our practice and the Dhamma through that. So reading the suttas directly is one way. So this is in a way complementing that, because when we read the suttas, we will see these characters come up here and there. So by reading a little bit about the background of their life story and how they taught and what they meant to different people, it gives that extra context when we see them appear in the suttas, if that makes sense. So I hope that's helpful, because that is roughly the motivation behind reading about their life story. Okay. Another good source would be the Jataka stories, but the Jataka stories are more like they are more narrative, so they are more storytelling, more commonly used in Sunday schools, a bit like Aesop's fables, you know, if those of you who know Aesop's fables. Okay, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Is it pronounced Aesop? A-E-S-O-P? Is that pronounced correctly? I should ask ChatGPT one day. Did I pronounce that correctly? Is Paul or Pi? Is that how you pronounce it? Aesop? A-E-S-O-P? Aesop's.
Where I'm from, it's Aesop, but I think,
Aesop.
yeah, but I think it's a Europeans. Aesop was a European, so in his native language, it's probably pronounced differently. I think he's
Where's he from? Aesop. Okay.
I'll Google it.
Where was he from? I don't know. I'll Google. But the Jatak tales, Jatak stories are really more in the form of like Aesop's fables, similar. Okay.
What is
All right.
what is Aesop? What is Aesop?
Aesop's fables. Oh, what is one of these? Let me quickly Google. Or if Paul or Pi know any of his famous one.
It says that a collection of fables credited to Aesop, a slave and storyteller who lived in ancient Greece between 620 and 564 BCE. The ant and the grasshopper is one. The wolf
Ant and the grasshopper.
wolf and the crane is another.
That's right, the crane. Many.
Yeah.
So many, he wrote many, and mostly they are like for children, you know, teaching values, you know, kindness, gratitude, what else? Compassion, you know, things like that. So the Jataka tales are like the Buddhist version. So they tell the lives, basically the past lives of the Buddha and his, you know, what we read now, like Venerable Ananda, Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana, Devadatta also appear many times, and a lot of the Jataka stories are in the form of in the animal kingdom, like when they were a lion, a monkey, I don't know, turtle, whatever. And then sometimes it would be like the Buddha was a merchant, and somebody was something, you know, things like that. Very interesting. And usually Jataka tales are used as teaching material in Sunday schools, Buddhist Sunday schools. Okay, so I hope
Thank you
that
very
helps.
much. Yes.
Okay, yeah, so Aesop's fables are fun as well. Very similar in nature. Good for kids and adults. Some of them are made into cartoons as well, you know, animations and stuff. So I'm pretty sure if you go on YouTube and you just type Jataka, you will definitely have a lot of material on YouTube. a lot of animations. Okay, good. So if there are no further questions, we can share merit in the normal way to end the session. So let me just do share. Oh, all right. So in the normal way, in the customary way, sorry, I should say in the customary way, usually when we perform some act of merit, whether listening or coming together to talk about the Dhamma, any Dhamma discussion, doing dana, any form of merit making, we end the session by sharing merit. So let's do that together. May suffering ones be suffering free and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief. May all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty powers, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you everyone for dialing in and for engaging. It's always good because then we learn from each other. And as usual, please feel free to ask any questions. If I am unable to answer them, I will take the questions the tuning guides and we can get back to you with the answers. All right. Have a
Thank you very
great
much.
week.
Thank you
No
very
worries,
much,
all
May.
good.
Enjoy your holidays. Thank you very much
Thank you. It's
indeed.
about to end. It's about to end. So, and then back to work again, but all good. All right.
Safe
Thank you so
journey
much.
back home. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy, smiling always, and also stay healthy. That's the most important. You need a healthy body in order to maintain a healthy mind as well. They go together hand in hand. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.